Man, Pool really whooped my ass, but boy am I glad to be done with those. If you think I didn't enjoy Pool, well buckle up, because me and Fog have years-long standing beef. While I can admire it from a game development standpoint, I absolutely cannot stand doing the Fog levels every time I play PvZ. Not gonna lie, most of the time when I've picked up the game casually, and if I hadn't already dropped it to Pool, here was definitely where I couldn't be bothered to finish it. This, however, is an entirely personal grievance, and the levels themselves aren't that bad. In fact, as I stated earlier, I think they're wonderfully designed. These levels combine the last 3 worlds into one big clusterfuck that will make things hard for you if you're not prepared. Not only are these levels the second round of night levels, they also have pool lanes, and on top of all of that, the fog. The fog is thick enough where you can't outright see all the zombies, but there are little holes you can peek through if you're experienced enough, and you're able to make educated guesses from there. It keeps the game nerve-wracking and tense, and it makes sense for it to be, considering these are the last levels you face until you reach the roof. Genuinely cannot sing enough praises about this game, from everything to the art, the music, even down to the level progression. We're not here for that though. We're here for a Nuzlocke. Before that though, I'm sorry, if you're somehow clicking on this episode first, you're gonna want to watch the 3 parts that came before this. I'll have the series playlist linked down below as always, so if you haven't, watch the first 3 and then come back. Okay? Okay. Starting with the end of level 310, we receive Sea Shroom, which, similar to our dead friend Puff Shroom, comes at the low cost of free. However, unlike Puff Shroom, Sea Shroom is a water-only plant, and therefore useful in the pool lanes, but not really anywhere else. I do choose to bring him with me to 4-1, and this also marks the return of the MVP Scaredy Shroom. Tagging along is Pea Shooter, Snow Pea, and Walnut. Back to the basics. While this is only the first of the 10 fog levels, the game is not going to make things easy for us. For complete transparency, this is how my first attempt at the first level of fog went.
Are coming.
Guys, fog is going to be terrible. I don't hear any zombies, I also don't see any. Right there. Oh, great. Huh. Oh no! Guys, oh no! The fog levels are scary. Oh no. Please die, please die, please die. Okay, 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 we're good, we're good, we're good. Ah! No! 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 Not like this! Please, not like this! Please, not like this! No, not like this! Not like this, please! Not like this! No! Fuck. Now imagine if I was still playing with the restart rule. This was a common trend among the fog levels. Again, if you thought I struggled with pool, the fog was infinitely more challenging. It's not even the fog itself necessarily that makes things difficult. Sure, it's harder to see, but a big part of the difficulty is the increasingly hard to deal with zombies on top of the low sun production from it being night levels. We start things off similarly to how we played during the night levels. We use Scaredy Shroom in the very back, 2 rows of Sun Shroom in front of Scaredy Shroom, and once again forgetting to use the lawnmowers. At least initially. I forgot to take advantage of them on my first attempt of the level I showed you earlier, and had I remembered to use them there, I likely would have been okay. Regardless, on my second go around, we remembered to use the lawnmowers this time, and despite that, we have this extremely close moment with a zombie and a Sun Shroom. This is the first level. My god, this is fucking stressful! While indeed this has already been fairly stressful, the stress is about to increase, as I have to painfully and slowly watch this Jack-in-the-Box zombie nearly annihilate half of my setup. Again. While he does go down, this lulled me into a false sense of security. After the Jack-in-the-Box zombie, nothing major happens until the first and last wave, where a Conehead nearly eats Sea Shroom as soon as we got him. Sea Shroom does manage to pull through though, and the final zombie goes down, securing Plantern in the process. One thing I want to note is that I really must have had my brain turned off for a moment, or I was tired or something. I'm not sure why, but I placed the Sun Shroom in the back of the pool lanes instead of moving them a row forward and putting Scaredy Shroom behind them. It took me several rounds to finally remember to move the Sun Shrooms forward, and I couldn't tell you why, honestly. Before heading into 4-2, I decided to finally visit the shop. Here I purchased one slot upgrade, allowing me to bring 8 plants instead of 7. I also finally snagged the pool lawnmowers, as I was not taking any chances this level. Armed with an extra plant of my choosing and the pool lawnmowers, we start 4-2, using the same strat. Only difference here is we bring Chomper in anticipation of both football and Jack-in-the-Box zombie. 4-2 is a 2-flag level, so we take things sorta slow at the beginning, stocking up on Sun and getting down our prized plants, Scaredy Shroom and Snoopy. After we have most of our defense down, the first wave approaches soon after. We have yet another close moment with the zombie and Sea Shroom, but he's proving himself to be stronger than I may have thought. We get a couple Chompers and few shooters down just in time for the final wave. I hear a Jack-in-the-Box zombie approaching, and I just have to pray that we've got enough plant power on the field to handle him. We do, he goes down, and soon after the level ends, rewarding us Cactus. We do actually need him for the next level, 4-3, as we see balloon zombies awaiting to pop the successful bubble that we've been in for the last few rounds. 4-3 is a 1-flag level, similarly to the first, and this makes things a little nerve-wracking, as I for sure expect a balloon zombie to appear before the wave. Along with Cactus, Scaredy Shroom, Sea Shroom, and Walnut, I choose to bring Fume Shroom and Squash along for this level, just in case. In prep for this, I take things extremely slow at the beginning, using 3 lawnmowers to build up even more Sun than typical. We get down our basic Scaredy Shrooms in the back and take the extra time to stock Sun for Cacti. I was in fact correct about expecting a balloon zombie before the first wave, as one spawns in the top pool lane right before the wave. I just barely am able to get a Cactus down in time, and with that we start getting down as many other Cacti as we can. The final wave arrives, and as we hear a balloon zombie approaching in the distance, a Conehead appears from the depths of the pool in front of Sea Shroom. We quickly get down a Walnut, and this suffices as we see the balloon zombie approaching in the second pool lane. I get a Cactus down, but it's not enough to handle the other 2 zombies in the same lane. We make the quick but grueling decision to use Squash here, as Walnut was not going to reload in time. It was that or lose Lilypad. You guess which I preferred. As much as it hurt me to use my absolute favorite plant here, it was the right call, as we secure the win on this level with Squash's sacrifice. In return, we get Blover, which isn't really an equal trade, so we're just gonna move on. Level 4-4 is where the zombie selection is starting to get extremely anxiety-inducing. Not that it wasn't already. Not only do we have balloon zombies again on this level, dolphin zombies have made their unfortunate return. The fog levels have been intense since the very start, and I have a pretty good feeling that intenseness isn't going to let up anytime soon. Here I decide to bring Tolna, mainly for the dolphin zombies, and Cherry Bomb, as a sort of get-out-of-jail-free card. 4-4 is a 2-flag level, so I don't feel as pressured to take things quite as slow. We get our initial defense down, finally remember to move the Sun Shrooms in the pool a row forward, and from there things appear to be moving smoothly. The first wave is quickly approaching, and I know better than to think I won't see either a balloon or a dolphin zombie here. I seem to just have a sixth sense for this sort of thing, because not long after the wave starts I hear the dolphin rear itself into the pool. Luckily, we'd expected this, and I had enough Sun to quickly place both a Lilypad and a Tallnut once we were able to tell which lane he was in. That was the only point of struggle for this wave, and it doesn't take long to reach the second wave. With more of a spread out defense, I'm much more confident this time when I see the red letters pop up on screen. While the majority of the wave does go alright, I was really tense here at the end with Tallnut. For a second here, I really thought we might lose him, but Snoopy and Cactus were able to handle it. This means that we've completed 4-4, thankfully not having to use Cherry Bomb or lose any other plants. And is that a taco? Oh, I mean, hell yeah, thanks, I was hungry. I got a taco! I got a taco! As much as I would love a taco right now, we don't actually get to eat it, and we give it to Crazy Dave in return for a small sum of 1,000 doubloons. I'm still too poor for my last shopping spree to get anything, so we move on to the minigame level. Once again, we will be skipping this level, but Facebreaker is definitely my all-time favorite minigame. Honestly, it's a godsend the devs decided to put this one in Fog, because every time I make it here, I am always happy to play this level. For smashing some grandma's prized antique china collection, we receive Split Pea, which gives us a grim reminder of what's to come. While the Fog levels have already been very nerve-wracking, it's about to get even worse as we approach 4-6, seeing minor zombies awaiting. Our classic strat of Scaredy Shroom in the very back will not work for these guys, and if we're not careful, they could wipe our defenses out. Split Pea is basically a requirement for this level, and thankfully, since the zombie selection isn't too bad, we bring along Snow Pea, Pea Shooter, Chomper, Fume Shroom, Walnut, and of course, Sea Shroom. 4-6 being a 1-flag level does amp back up the stress level though, as oftentimes we struggle to get our basic defense down before the wave comes. The strat for this level is is unlike any other, and that's specifically because of the miner zombies. Where we would normally place Scaredy Shroom, we leave empty and prep for both miner zombies and the placement of a walnut if needed to protect Sun Shroom. After the Sun Shrooms was Fume Shroom, and then after that would be Split Pea. While this is complicated and messy, it ensures that the miner zombies won't be able to eat our Sun Shrooms as long as we make sure to be careful with our placements of plants. We weren't so careful, and nearly lose Sun Shroom. This makes me realize how much of a potential run under these guys are, and it makes me get the rest of the Split Peas down ASAP. The wave is creeping in, and using my huge wrinkly brain, I plant a lily pad to stall the zombie just long enough for me to get a walnut down. This ultimately was a huge risk, but we barely managed to pull it off and the pool lanes are cleared. That doesn't quite mean we're done though, as a miner zombie appears in the bottom grass lanes. We don't have enough time here for a walnut, but thankfully, due to his little stun animation when he pops up from the ground, Split Pea is able to take him out. This completes the level, awarding us another one of my favorite plants, Starfruit. This takes us to level 4-7, where the zombies waiting on the other side of the fence have me very concerned. Buckethead's miner and Jack-in-the-Box zombies, and you're telling me I still don't have Magnet Shroom? Needless to say, this had me quite nervous, and in preparation, I select Scaredy Shroom, Starfruit, Chomper, Fume Shroom, Tangle Kelp, and Tallnut. This level, again, requires that we change our plant placements on the field. This time, instead of putting Scaredy Shrooms in the very back, we put them in front of the Sun Shrooms. This is due to our good old friend Miner Zombie. I was not going to risk Scaredy Shroom's life for no reason. In the now empty slot, we put down Starfruit. The reason for this is not only will they be able to deal with the miner zombies with their projectile-like attack, they'll be able to cover the pool lanes and most of the field from there. We place Fume Shrooms in front of Scaredy Shroom, and then Tallnut a space in front of that, leaving room for another Starfruit. This, however, is quite the expensive strategy, with both Starfruit and Tallnut costing 125 sun a pop. In order to pull this off and get enough sun to place what I wanted and needed, I had to use nearly all of my lawnmowers in the early game. It wasn't even until after the first wave that I actually started to place anything in the pool. I had used one of the pool lawnmowers in early game, and this nearly cost me everything. While the Starfruits on the edge do indeed hit the pool lanes, it's not enough to handle this Conehead. I end up deciding to sacrifice Tangle Kelp here to keep things going. Literally the second he gets pulled into the depths, I hear a Buckethead, and my luck would have it he's in the same lane the Conehead was in, the one without a lawnmower. Because of course. I used Chomper here just to deal with him. While it's not the most aesthetically pleasing solution, it's the one I knew would work, as I wasn't sure anything else I could get down would take him out in time. While I was preoccupied on the Buckethead, however, zombies broke through the grass lane of defense that I hadn't placed a Tallnut in yet. The zombie eats Fume Shroom shortly before dying, and that makes the plant death toll of this level now 2. As much as it sucks to lose 2 plants in one level, we trudge on, almost about to hit the final wave. I shovel away the remaining Fume Shrooms, and while doing this I accidentally shuffled away a Scaredy Shroom. This was an accident, so I replaced him quickly after. I placed down the last Tallnut in the final grass lane just to ensure we won't have a repeat of what just happened, and after getting a second Chomper in the pool, the final wave arrives. The entire final wave felt like a stress-inducing nightmare. Jack-in-the-Box zombie on the top, miner zombie on the bottom, Bucketheads in the pool, too many things to keep track of for my liking. While this is definitely my most scuffed field layout yet, it proves to work well enough, as we do manage to make it to the end here, being awarded with Pumpkin in return. Still no Magnet Shroom though. Before we hop into the next level, I decide to visit the shop. I use my hard-earned doubloons to purchase Cattail, one of the premium plants in Crazy Dave's selection. The reason we choose Cattail specifically is because their attacks are honing attacks, and will always attack the closest zombie. To be honest here for a moment, I wasn't sure while doing the challenge, and I'm still not sure now if this was technically allowed. I don't remember there being a no premium plant rule, but I also don't remember either PAX or Mr. Marinara using them in their attempts. What's done is done, and I can't go back and not purchase it, but in my future reattempt, we will just go ahead and outlaw these. Moving on to 4-8, we see Pogo Zombies on the right side of the lawn. While they're the only really intimidating foe here, they pose such a huge risk, and I wasn't sure going in how we were going to deal with them. This partly fueled my decision to both purchase and bring along Cattail, along with Sea Shroom, Scaredy Shroom, Jalapeno, Tallnut, and Walnut. I'm sure at this point you've noticed an increasing trend of having to bring get-out-of-jail-free plants. You may also be confused about the choice to bring both Tallnut and Walnut. The reasoning for this is Walnut will be our main defense, mostly due to how cheap he is compared to Tallnut. Tallnut is reserved specifically for Pogo Zombies, as similarly to both Dolphin and Pole Vaulters, Tallnut outright denies them. We treat the beginning of this level like any old night level, Scaredy Shrooms in the very back, Sun Shrooms in front, and stalling the zombies with lawnmowers. 4-8 is a one flag level, and as we've previously discussed, this makes things stressful to manage. I use 3 lawnmowers at the start to feel like I've slowed things down enough. From there, we decide to rely on good old Scaredy Shroom for the most part. This may seem confusing to some of you, especially when I place a second Scaredy Shroom in front of the Sun Shrooms, but as I mentioned earlier, the Pogo Zombies are the biggest risk in this level. This means we can rely mostly on Scaredy Shroom, and placing a second one should be just enough power to handle the Pogo Zombies, at least in theory. What I had failed to consider in this theory, however, was the fact that Scaredy Shroom does just go into hiding mode when any zombie gets close enough. That includes the Pogo Zombies. Thankfully, there was still a lawnmower in that lane. With damn near tears in my eyes, I gleefully watched the Pogo Zombie get run over. Thankful for the sliver of luck from RNG Jesus. From here, things go fairly okay. We get down a cattail in the pool and prepare for the wave to start. We hear the creaking and know what's coming, waiting patiently to place a tall nut in the correct lane. While attempting to do so, I get my cursor turned around and place him a bit late. Because of this, it technically doesn't actually block the Pogo Zombie. He still goes down thanks to both cattails and Scaredy Shroom, but that could have been pretty bad. We do, however, lose Sea Shroom in the pool, but I'm honestly not too bothered by this death. While he is free and has made defense in the pool lanes easier, similar to Puff Shroom, I did feel it was inevitable to lose him at some point. After completing the wave, we finally get Magnet Shroom, which is a godsend seeing Pogo Zombies again and their second cousin Bucketheads waiting for us on 4-9. Not only have the relatives made a return, Balloon Zombie is also back, and this helps mostly dictate our plant selection this time around. While normally we'd use Cactus here to deal with the Balloon Zombies, the projectiles from Cattail actually also deal with them. Not wanting to rely on sheer luck as much this level, we pick, along with Cattail, Magnet Shroom, Scaredy Shroom, Jalapeno, and once again, both Tallnut and Walnut. 4-9 is a 2-flag level, which actually makes me a little relieved. If I'm not wrong, there wasn't a single 3-flag level yet since the pool, and I'm not sure if I should be anxious or okay with this. Regardless, we start things off as we have been, Sun Shrooms and Scaredy Shrooms in place. Similarly to last level, we're relying mostly on Scaredy Shroom here, with the eventual Cattail to aid. The build up to the first wave goes alright, and we're able to get most of our defense down by the time it arrives. I place a Magnet Shroom in the top grass lanes to try to prevent any early game Pogo Zombies we may encounter. Luckily, we're alright for the first wave, and the only threat we hear is a Balloon Zombie that's quickly sniped by Cattail. With the first wave over and done with, I make sure to get my second Magnet Shroom and as many tall nuts down as I can afford. While Scaredy Shroom and Cattail are theoretically enough to handle a Pogo Zombie, I did not want to take any chances, especially with how many lawnmowers I've used in early game. This proved to be very worthwhile, as while I can't see it, I do indeed hear a Pogo Zombie creeping in. Magnet Shroom steals his Pogo Stick and we're set from there. I place a couple other plants to fill out our field defense, and this brings us to the second and final wave. At the start of the wave, we do hear both a balloon and a Pogo Zombie, but our defenses prove to be foolproof, as I never even see them make it past the thick fog. This goes for most of the zombies, and while it's not the prettiest or most symmetrical layout, it worked. That's something I've learned while playing through the fog levels. You're going to get unlucky. You're going to get bad RNG. You're going to have rough levels. But it's about what you can do and what strategies you can employ to still win. It would be remiss of me to not mention how long I struggled on these levels. Remember, this was after I had freshly thrown out the restart rule and decided to just keep powering through. It genuinely took me a good 6 to 7 hours to beat the fog levels, and no, I'm not exaggerating. These levels are extremely difficult and forced me to sacrifice several plants in order to guarantee I would make it to the roof. Speaking of, after completing 4-9, we get a note from Mom, definitely not the zombies, to come on over for some meatloaf. Well, I hate meatloaf, so no thanks. Jokes aside, this means we have officially completed the fog levels for the Nuzlocke. As always, we will be skipping the final conveyor belt level, but for completing this level, we acquire Cabbage Pole. This takes us to this episode's roster recap. This time we've lost a lot more plants, taking the current death toll to 5. This includes Puff Shroom, Sea Shroom, Fume Shroom, Tangle Kelp, and Squash. Anything grayed out is a plant we haven't obtained yet or will not be obtaining. That also means now you guys get to wait for my super consistent uploads for the last part. I swear I'm gonna try and get it out ASAP, I swear. If you can't wait for that though, and just need your fix of subpart content, check out my Twitch. We've been streaming DBD over there recently with some occasional Resident Evil mixed in, so check that out if you'd like. As always, there is also a Discord server if you'd like to join it. The community over there is super great and we have a lot of fun. All of the links for everything will be in the description like usual. And that's all I've got for y'all for now. I've got a bunch of DBD related videos planned that I've been wanting to do, as well as some other games and stuff. I can't wait to get started on some of my other ideas, and I can't wait for y'all to see them. Thanks for watching and have a good one.